pretty amazing time with technology at the moment. We're seeing new devices, new platforms, new technologies lead to completely different behaviors. We have a young generation of people incredibly enthusiastic, incredibly creative, incredibly ambitious, looking forward to the rest of their careers. And then we have a kind of older population, more mature, more wise, more used to the realities of life and business. And what we see in the world right now is these two cultures smashing together. If we can combine a best of both approach with young people with their unbridled enthusiasm combined with the wisdom of those that are somewhat more mature, then we really can unleash the power of new technology for the benefit of all. And that's what I'm most excited about. So what I'll be talking about in my conference speech is very much about how new technology can do amazing things for everyone. I think we live in an environment right now where quite a lot of people are scared of change. We see the opportunities of new technologies sometimes overshadowed by the threats it creates. There's many new business models which are highly disruptive. There's many new entrants that seem to think about things in a very different way. And I think that's created quite a cautious approach. What you really need to do is understand the power of the new, understand the opportunities it creates, and really rethink business from scratch. We've got many companies who seem quite daunted by what technology means. They seem to do a much more superficial type of innovation, very much on the edges of business. The companies that are the fastest growing and most valuable companies today and the world has ever seen are all those that have unlocked the power of the new at a very core, at a very existential level. And that's really what I'm looking forward to talking about in my speech. So in the workplace today, we have Gen Z, we have millennials, we have several different generations working together at the same time. So what can companies do about that? I think for me, the core thing is just having a deeply empathetic approach. The reality is that us older, perhaps wiser people have been on this planet for longer. We know what it's like to be young. We know what it's like to be impatient. We know what it's like to have dreams. We know what it's like to not be tainted by the realities of life. So more than anything else in business today, companies just need to get extremely good at understanding exactly what drives these people, exactly what is realistic to change, exactly what we should be managing rather than changing, and just be highly, highly, highly attuned to their needs, their wants, their desires. I'm not saying we should change everything to fit around them, but understanding what is sensible and what's unrealistic is a key part of success in the future. So this leads to how I see the culture of work changing. The reality is that we have large companies that have succeeded for many years repeating the same time-honored tactics that have worked time and time again. What we really need to do is understand that technology is changing the lifespan of companies. It's changing the tempo, it's changing the cadence of innovation, it's changing the very attributes and assets that make companies highly successful. So what you really need to do is a kind of best of both approach. We need to find a way that the things that have worked for companies for year upon year upon year, find those things that can remain the same, and find the things that really need to change. Whether it's the pace of innovation, whether it's the process for coming up with new ideas, whether it's the way that we reward people. The reality is that most young people today, they don't need career security in the same way. They don't want the rigidity of a 9 to 5. Things like training, things like a creative work environment, things like inspirational people to be around, those things are key for the generation today and in the future. So I think every company just needs to rethink the things that they fix and really reimagine what they do around the kind of behaviors, cultures, and attributes that will drive success in the future. All the speakers look great. They look very different to each other. They all look like they've come from very different backgrounds. I'd be lying if I was to say that I'm not incredibly excited about Patty McCord. I'm aware that Reed Hastings has talked for many, many years about the success of the culture deck that went viral on SlideShare. I look at the success of Netflix and it's just been an incredible journey. And I know that that can only happen with a wonderful culture. To see someone like Patty speak about that, I think that's going to be thrilling.